Welcome to my channel. This channel is dedicated to horror stories. The crisp autumn air clung to my skin as I stood before the imposing structure of St. Anna Catholic School. Its Gothic arches loomed overhead, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch out to welcome me. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the new chapter of my life about to unfold within these ancient walls. "I can't believe you're really doing this, Ivy," my best friend Maya said, her voice tinged with both excitement and concern. "Leaving the city to teach at some old Catholic school in the middle of nowhere." I chuckled nervously, adjusting the strap of my bag on my shoulder. "I know, it's a bit crazy, but I need a change. And who knows, maybe this will be exactly what I need." Maya gave me a skeptical look, but then grinned. "Well, if anyone can handle it, it's you. Just promise me you'll keep me updated on all the juicy details of small town life." "I promise," I said with a smile, feeling a surge of gratitude for her unwavering support. As I made my way through the heavy wooden doors of the school, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mingled with apprehension. The hallway stretched out before me, dimly lit by the soft glow of antique sconces lining the walls. It felt like stepping back in time. "Excuse me, miss, can I help you find something?" A voice called out from behind me, jolting me out of my reverie. I turned to find a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a warm smile approaching me. She wore a habit, marking her as one of the nuns who worked at the school. "Oh, hi, I'm Ivy," I said, extending my hand. "I'm the new kindergarten teacher." The nun's smile widened as she shook my hand. "Welcome to St. Anna, Ivy. I'm Sister Sophia. Let me show you to your classroom." As Sister Sophia led me down the hallway, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, as if the very walls of the school held secrets waiting to be uncovered. "So, what's it like teaching here?" I asked, trying to break the silence. Sister Sophia glanced at me, her expression unreadable for a moment before she spoke. "Oh, it's quite an experience, I must say, but I'm sure you'll find your time here enlightening." Her cryptic words sent a shiver down my spine, but I pushed aside my unease, determined to embrace this new beginning with open arms. Little did I know, the journey ahead would be far more than I bargained for. The first few days at St. Anna passed in a whirlwind of introductions, lesson planning, and getting to know my students. The children, with their bright eyes and infectious laughter, quickly won me over. But beneath the surface, an unsettling feeling lingered. As I sat at my desk in the dimly lit classroom, grading papers late one afternoon, a chill swept through the room, causing me to shiver despite the warmth of my sweater. "Miss Ivy, why do you look scared?" A small voice piped up from behind me. I turned to see Harry, one of my kindergartners, standing in the doorway, his brow furrowed in concern. "Oh, it's nothing, Harry," I said, forcing a smile. "Just got a little chilly, that's all." But even as I spoke, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me from the shadows. The next morning, as I prepared for the day ahead, I caught a glimpse of movement out of the corner of my eye. Turning towards the window, I saw a figure standing in the graveyard beyond, shrouded in darkness. "Sister Sophia, do you ever notice anything unusual around here?" I asked later that day, as we passed in the hallway. The nun paused, her expression unreadable. "Unusual, Miss Ivy." I hesitated, unsure how to articulate the sense of unease that had settled over me since my arrival. "It's just, sometimes I feel like there's something watching me. And yesterday, I thought I saw someone outside, in the graveyard." Sister Sophia's gaze flickered towards the window, her lips pressed into a thin line. "You mustn't concern yourself with such things, Miss Evans. The imagination can play tricks on the mind." But her words did little to ease my growing sense of unease. That night, as I lay in bed, I heard the faint sound of whispering echoing through the empty halls of the school. I pulled the covers tighter around me, trying to convince myself it was just the wind. But deep down, I knew something far more sinister lurked in the shadows, waiting to reveal itself. And as the days passed, I would come to realize that the secrets of Street Anna ran far deeper than I could have ever imagined. As the days turned into weeks, the unsettling presence at Street Anna seemed to grow stronger, casting a shadow over every corner of the school. Despite Sister Sophia's attempts to dismiss my concerns, I couldn't shake the feeling that something dark and sinister lurked just beneath the surface. One afternoon, while browsing through the dusty shelves of the school library in search of teaching materials, I stumbled upon an old leather-bound book tucked away in a forgotten corner. Its pages were yellowed with age, and the faded ink seemed to whisper of secrets long forgotten. "Miss Ivy, what are you doing here?" A voice called out from behind me, causing me to jump in surprise. I turned to find Mrs. John, the school's veteran English teacher, standing in the doorway, her expression guarded. "Oh, I was just exploring," I stammered, hastily placing the book back on the shelf. Mrs. John studied me for a moment before nodding slowly. "There are some things in this school best left undisturbed, Miss Iv. Trust me." Her cryptic words only fueled my curiosity, and later that evening, as I sat alone in my apartment, I found myself unable to shake the feeling that there was more to Street Anna than met the eye. The following day, during a rare moment of respite, I found myself drawn once again to the school library, determined to uncover the truth behind the whispers that haunted the halls. As I pored over ancient manuscripts and faded newspaper clippings, I stumbled upon a mention of the school's troubled past, a past marred by violence and bloodshed. "Excuse me, Miss Ivy, but what are you doing here?" a voice interrupted, causing me to look up in surprise. It was Sister Sophia, her expression stern as she surveyed the scattered papers strewn across the table. "I'm sorry, sister. I was just researching," I said, feeling a flush of embarrassment creep up my neck. The nun's gaze softened, and she sighed heavily. "I understand your curiosity, Miss Ivy, but some truths are best left buried." But I couldn't turn back now, not when I was so close to uncovering the secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface of Street Anna. And as I delved deeper into the school's dark past, I would soon come to realize that the legacy of pain and suffering that haunted these hallowed halls was far more terrifying than anything I could have ever imagined. As I continued my investigation into the mysteries of Street Anna, the whispers of the past seemed to grow louder, echoing through the halls of the old school with a haunting intensity. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the lights, felt like a reminder of the dark secrets that lay buried beneath the surface. One afternoon, while sifting through the school's archives, I stumbled upon an old photograph tucked away in a dusty drawer. It depicted a group of stern-faced nuns standing solemnly in front of the school, their eyes seeming to bore into my soul. "Miss Ivy, what are you doing here?" a voice called out from behind me, causing me to startle. I turned to find Sister Caroline, one of the younger nuns who worked at the school, watching me with a mixture of curiosity and concern. "I'm sorry, sister. I was just looking through some old records," I said, hastily tucking the photograph back into its hiding place. Sister Caroline's brow furrowed in concern. "Is everything all right, Miss Ivy? You seem troubled." I hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal. "It's just, there's something about this school. Something unsettling." The nun's gaze softened, and she placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "I understand. Street Anna has a long and complicated history, but I believe there is light to be found even in the darkest of places." Her words offered little comfort, and as I watched her retreat down the hallway, I couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows that lurked within Street Anna held secrets far more sinister than anyone could imagine. That night, as I lay in bed, the whispers returned with a vengeance, filling my mind with visions of the past. I saw faces, nuns and students long since gone, haunted by the horrors they had witnessed within these walls. And then, amidst the darkness, a voice that seemed to come from beyond the grave, whispered my name. Ivy. I sat bolt upright, my heart pounding in my chest. Was it just a dream, or had I truly heard the voice of someone long dead? Determined to uncover the truth, I resolved to delve deeper into the school's history, no matter the cost. For I knew that the echoes of the past held the key to unlocking the secrets of Street Anna once and for all. The air in Street Anna seemed to hum with an eerie energy, as if the very walls of the school were alive with secrets waiting to be revealed. Determined to uncover the truth, I delved deeper into the archives, poring over old records and faded photographs in search of answers. One afternoon, as I sat hunched over a stack of dusty tomes in the school library, I felt a presence looming behind me, sending a shiver down my spine. Miss Ivy, what are you doing here? A voice whispered, causing me to jump in surprise. I turned to find Mrs. John, the veteran English teacher, watching me with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. I'm sorry, Mrs. John. I was just researching, I said, trying to hide the unease in my voice. The older woman's gaze softened, and she approached me with a cautious expression. I couldn't help but notice that you've been spending a lot of time in the library lately. Is everything all right? I hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal. I've been trying to uncover the secrets of this school. There's something dark lurking here, Mrs. John. I can feel it. Mrs. John regarded me with a knowing look, as if she understood far more than she was letting on. Street Anna has a long and troubled history, Miss Ivy. Some things are best left undisturbed. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Mrs. John than met the eye. Her guarded demeanor hinted at secrets of her own, secrets that could hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of Street Anna. That night, as I lay in bed, the events of the day played over and over in my mind, filling me with a sense of unease. I knew that I was getting closer to the truth, but with each step forward, the shadows seemed to grow darker, threatening to consume me whole. And then, just as I was on the brink of sleep, a faint whisper filled the room, sending a chill down my spine. Ivy. I bolted upright, my heart pounding in my chest. It was the same voice, the voice that had haunted my dreams since my arrival at Street Anna. With a sense of dread, I realized that my fateful encounter with the darkness that lurked within Street Anna was far from over. And as I braced myself for the journey ahead, I knew that the secrets of the school would soon be revealed, no matter the cost. The atmosphere within Street Anna had become palpably charged with tension, each hallway and classroom seemingly imbued with a sense of foreboding. Determined to uncover the truth, I continued my relentless pursuit of the school's secrets, delving deeper into its troubled past with each passing day. One evening, as dusk cast long shadows across the empty corridors, I found myself drawn to the chapel, the heart of Street Anna, where the whispers of the past seemed to echo with haunting clarity. As I stepped into the dimly lit sanctuary, a sense of unease settled over me, the weight of centuries-old secrets pressing down upon my shoulders. But I refused to be intimidated. Steeling myself for what lay ahead, I pressed on, determined to confront the darkness that lurked within. Ivy, what are you doing here? A voice called out from behind me, causing me to whirl around in surprise. It was Sister Sophia, her expression a mixture of concern and curiosity as she approached me with cautious steps. I'm sorry, sister. I just needed some time alone, I stammered, unable to shake the feeling that I was being watched. The nun regarded me with a knowing look, as if she could sense the turmoil brewing beneath the surface. Street Anna holds many secrets, Ivy, some of which are best left undiscovered. But I knew that I could no longer turn a blind eye to the darkness that lurked within the school's hallowed halls. I had come too far to let fear stand in my way. With a resolute nod, I turned back towards the altar, my heart pounding in my chest as I braced myself for what lay ahead. The air around me seemed to crackle with energy, the very walls of the chapel pulsing with an otherworldly power. And then, in the flickering candlelight, I saw it, a shadowy figure lurking in the darkness, its eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. Who are you?" I demanded, my voice echoing off the stone walls. The figure remained silent, its form shifting and twisting like smoke in the wind. But as it drew closer, I could sense the darkness radiating from its very core, a chilling reminder of the evil that lurked within Street Anna. With a sense of dread, I realized that I was facing something far more sinister than I had ever imagined. And as the shadows closed in around me, I knew that the time had come to confront the darkness head-on, no matter the cost. As the mysteries of Street Anna continued to unfold, I found myself consumed by a relentless pursuit of the truth, each revelation drawing me deeper into the darkness that lurked within the school's ancient walls. One morning, as I sat in the empty staff room, poring over old newspapers and faded photographs in search of clues, I felt a sense of unease settle over me like a suffocating shroud. The air seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy, the very atmosphere charged with tension. "Ivy, are you all right?" a voice asked, breaking through the silence like a bolt of lightning. I looked up to find Sister Caroline standing in the doorway, her brow furrowed with concern. I'm fine, sister," I said, forcing a smile, just trying to piece together the puzzle of Street Anna. The nun regarded me with a knowing look, as if she could sense the turmoil brewing beneath the surface. "Street Anna holds many secrets, Ivy, some of which are best left undiscovered." But I refused to heed her warning. I had come too far to turn back now. Later that afternoon, as I ventured into the depths of the school's archives in search of answers, I stumbled upon a forgotten manuscript hidden away in a dusty corner. Its pages were filled with cryptic symbols and arcane incantations, hinting at a dark and sinister past that stretched back centuries. "Miss Ivy, what are you doing here?" a voice called out from behind me, causing me to jump in surprise. It was Mrs. John, her expression guarded as she approached me with cautious steps. I was just researching," I stammered, my heart racing in my chest. The older woman regarded me with a knowing look, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and regret. "You shouldn't be here, Miss Ivy. There are things in this school that are better left forgotten." But I refused to be deterred. I had come too far to turn back now. With a resolute nod, I turned back to the manuscript, my hands trembling as I traced the ancient symbols etched into its yellowed pages. And as I delved deeper into the secrets of Street Anna, I knew that the time had come to confront the darkness head-on, no matter the cost. The shadows within Street Anna had grown darker, more oppressive, as if the very walls of the school were closing in around me, suffocating me with their malevolent presence. But I refused to surrender to the darkness that threatened to consume me whole. With every fiber of my being, I fought to uncover the truth, to unravel the secrets that lay hidden within the school's ancient walls. One night, as I ventured deeper into the heart of Street Anna, guided by the flickering light of a solitary candle, I stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed beneath the chapel, a chamber that reeked of death and decay, its walls lined with ancient symbols and arcane sigils. "Ivy, what are you doing here?" a voice whispered, causing me to startle in surprise. It was Sister Sophia, her expression one of shock and dismay as she gazed upon the forbidden chamber. I was just exploring," I stammered, my heart racing in my chest. But the nun's gaze remained fixed upon me, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and regret. You shouldn't be here, Ivy. There are things in this school that are better left forgotten. But I refused to heed her warning. I had come too far to turn back now. With a resolute nod, I turned back to the chamber, my hands trembling as I traced the ancient symbols etched into its stone walls. And as I delved deeper into the secrets of Street Anna, I knew that the time had come to confront the darkness head-on, no matter the cost. But as I ventured further into the chamber, I felt a chill settle over me like a shroud, the very air thick with the stench of death and decay. And then, in the flickering light of my candle, I saw it, a shadowy figure lurking in the darkness, its eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. Who are you? I demanded, my voice echoing off the walls of the chamber. But the figure remained silent, its form shifting and twisting like smoke in the wind. And as it drew closer, I realized with a sinking heart that I was facing something far more sinister than I had ever imagined. With a sense of dread, I turned to flee, my heart pounding in my chest as I raced through the darkened corridors of Street Anna, the shadows closing in around me like a vice. But even as I ran, I knew that the darkness that lurked within the school's ancient walls would haunt me forever, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lay hidden beneath the surface. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, casting long shadows across the empty corridors of Street Anna, I emerged from the darkness, battered but unbowed, my resolve stronger than ever before. For though the shadows of the past still lingered, I knew that the time had come to confront the darkness head-on and bring an end to the horrors that had plagued the school for far too long. One morning, as I stood before the chapel, the weight of the world pressing down upon my shoulders, I felt a hand on my shoulder, a gentle touch that filled me with a sense of warmth and reassurance. "Ivy, are you all right?" a voice asked, breaking through the silence like a ray of sunshine. I turned to find Sister Caroline standing beside me, her eyes filled with concern and compassion. I'm fine, sister," I said, forcing a smile, just trying to make sense of everything that's happened. The nun regarded me with a knowing look, as if she could sense the turmoil brewing beneath the surface. "You've been through so much, Ivy, but remember, even in the darkest of times, there is always hope." Her words struck a chord deep within my soul, filling me with a newfound sense of determination. With a resolute nod, I turned back towards the chapel, my heart pounding in my chest as I braced myself for what lay ahead. And as I stepped into the dimly lit sanctuary, I felt a sense of peace wash over me, the weight of the world lifting from my shoulders. For though the shadows of the past still lingered, I knew that the time had come to confront the darkness head-on and bring an end to the horrors that had plagued the school for far too long. With a deep breath, I stepped forward, my footsteps echoing off the stone walls as I braced myself for the final battle. And as the first light of dawn bathed the chapel in its golden glow, I knew that a new day was dawning, a day filled with hope and promise, and the chance for a brighter future. And though the road ahead would be fraught with challenges and obstacles, I faced it with courage and determination, knowing that as long as I held on to hope, the darkness could never truly prevail. For even in the darkest of times, there is always light. And as I stepped out into the dawn of a new day, I knew that the future of Street Anna, and all who walked within its hallowed halls, was finally in safe hands.